You don't need to cut prices to make revenue in January. January feels bad because of what happens before it. You just came out of Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas and New Year's. Customers spend a lot of money. They bought gifts, they overextended, they bought everything they possibly could, and then January hits and revenue drops. In this video, I'm going to show you how to recover January revenue using email and SMS without panic discounts, without blasting your list, and without hurting February. I'm Marco and I'm the CEO of The Email Wizards, and for the past 6 years we've generated over $25 million from retention across 139 e-commerce and dropshipping brands. Now let's break down this properly. January is not a broken month. It's a different month. The mistake most e-commerce and dropshipping brands make is to run January the same way they ran December and November. When you do that, everything falls down. Emails get no results, ads get expensive, and the system that worked 4 weeks ago, you start questioning it. Nothing is actually wrong with your store. Your customers are mentally tired. They're more cautious, they're less impulsive than they were in December and November. But that's normal. The problem starts when brands expect November and December behavior from their customers who are clearly in post-December mindset. That gap creates panic, and I like to call this the Q4 hangover. In Q4, you train your list to respond to urgency, sales, and constant promotions. Then January arrives. Customers slow down, but brands don't. So founders react emotionally. They discount just to see any movements. They blast the entire list because silence feels uncomfortable. They launch random bundles with no logic behind them. They change ads every week hoping that something will stick. But none of this fixes January. It just makes February harder. January doesn't punish effort. January punishes doing the same thing when customer behavior has clearly changed. Now, here's the most important shift. January revenue is not driven by new traffic. It's driven by people who already trust you. Customers who bought in Q4, customers who are still engaged, and people who are this close to buying but just didn't pull the trigger yet. These people are not price shopping. They don't need more urgency. They just need clarity. So the goal in January isn't how do I sell more stuff? The goal is how do I help the right people move forward? Most brands get stuck here because they try to help everyone at the same time. But January only works when you separate people by intent. At minimum, you need 3 groups. People who bought recently, people who are engaged but haven't bought yet, and people who haven't engaged in a while. That's it. If someone bought from you in Q4, they don't need another hard sell. They need help getting value from what they already bought. So if someone is engaged but hasn't purchased, they don't need pressure. They need clarity and reassurance. And if someone hasn't engaged at all, January is not the month to push them aggressively. When you don't segment this way, every campaign feels weak. But not because the campaign is bad, but because the campaign is going to the wrong people. Once you separate your list this way, email and SMS actually start doing their job. This is where email and SMS do the heavy lifting. You don't need anything complicated. At a minimum, you should separate people who are engaged from people who aren't, and buyers from non-buyers. Because if you send the same message to everyone in January, you're doing yourself unnecessary damage. The first thing that works in January is by focusing on Q4 buyers. These people have already trusted you once. So instead of pushing another product immediately, help them get value from what they already bought. Show them how to use the product correctly. Point out common mistakes. Reinforce the outcome they were promised. This keeps the trust high and opens the door for natural follow-up purchase. The second thing that works in January is reset messaging instead of urgency. Essentially, you can think of January as a reset month. People want routines, people want structures, they want to feel back in control after all of the chaos in Q4. So instead of last chance language, use messaging like start fresh, get back on track, or build consistency again. The third thing that works in January is intentional bundles. Bundles only work if they make sense, not random discounts. You have to think in routines, products that naturally go together, like setup kits or consistency packs. You need to position this bundle as help, not as pressure, because this increases order value without making the brand feel cheap. The fourth thing that works in January is education. January customers are like mentally tired. They don't want to figure things out, so just remove all the friction. Show them how the product fits into their day naturally. Show them what results should look like, and show them what mistakes to avoid. When people understand what they're buying, they are comfortable paying the full price. The fifth thing that works in January is shifting attention to long-term products. Not every bestseller creates a long-term customer. January is the best month to highlight products that lead to refills, habits, and repeat behavior. So changing what you feature in January can change how the rest of the year performs. The sixth thing that works in January is value instead of discounts. You don't need to cut prices to create movement. Think about things like free shipping, refill reminders, early access, bonus sample, and loyalty points. These give customers a reason to act without making the brand look desperate. Now pause for a second. Here's the one metric that tells you if this is working. Revenue per subscriber. Not opens, not clicks, revenue per subscriber. If that number holds steady or improves in January, you're doing it right. But if it drops, your targeting or messaging is off. Now here's how to pace the month. In week 1, focus on education and value for recent buyers and reset messaging for engaged subscribers. In week 2, lean into refills, routines, and product pairings. In week 3, spotlight intentional bundles or higher lifetime value products. In week 4, keep it light. Social proof, community, simple check-ins. No discounts, just consistency. January is not for scaling. January is for control. Controlling your messaging, or the month controls your emotions. January feels bad when you force it to behave like November or December. Support the customers you already have and segment your list. Lead with clarity instead of urgency. If you do that, the revenue will stabilize without doing any discount or flash sales. If you want this built properly and you don't want to guess, this is exactly what we do at Email Wizards. We do email, SMS, WhatsApp, and push notification marketing. We have generated over $25 million in the last 6 years. We have worked with 139 e-commerce and dropshipping brands. So if January isn't your cash flow and you want a real retention system, book an audit with me. The link is in the description.